What it do, baby? Tim, I love it, man. I love it, Tim. Welcome everybody. Welcome, Bush. What's good, brother? Welcome, guys. I'm really excited to be here, man. I'm really excited about this episode. Thank you guys for the comments coming in. Y'all actually beat my mom. My mom is usually always the first comment, so y'all beat my mother. So shout out to y'all guys. Melanie did too. My mom might be on there late today. Mom, where you at? Come on in my comments. I know you're around here somewhere, mom. But welcome, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of the My Brother Show. Um, I do apologize for kind of some of the lack of a promotion for this episode. I actually was in the process of moving, so I am recording for the first time in my new apartment, which I really love, but which is also really unpacked. So, next time you guys see me, you'll probably see my little decal behind me and stuff again. But still in the process of unpacking and getting settled in. There you go, mom. Hey, mom, how you doing? I just saw your text message pop up on my screen. I knew you was around here. I love you, mother. Thank you so much for all of your support. All right, so couple of housekeeping things, and then we'll jump into the topic and the introductions of the wonderful guests. So first, as you see scrolling at the bottom, take a second and follow us on Instagram at the My Brother Show. No fancy spellings, no underscores, and just one word at the My Brother Show. And also, any donations that you would like to do to anything that we're doing can be sent on Cash App to just dollar sign my brother. They come to a bunch of beautiful things. Which you can see, I told you guys last episode that my headphones broke, so kind of using some makeshift headphones right now. And just a bunch of different other things that donations go to kind of help out. All right, so this is actually my favorite part of the episodes, believe it or not, when I get the opportunity to introduce the topic and my guests. So this week we are discussing gluttony gluttony. And when you think of gluttony, you kind of think of like obesity and overweightness. But we're talking about obviously, in the health and the physical standpoint, and obesity. We're also just going to talk about overindulgence and things like alcohol and junk food and all those things, and kind of like the mental effects that it has on you when you do it, how to overcome it, and things like that. So I'm thinking of this topic, and I'm like up 25 pounds since quarantine hit. So I figured I probably wouldn't be the best one to talk about this because I'm probably being a bit of a glutton right now. So I asked two of my amazing brothers, probably the two fittest brothers that I know, um, to come on this episode. So I love the opportunity to introduce these. I never write these introductions down. Like I almost always am going unscripted off of these, unless I don't know the guest, then I'll ask them for a bio. But I know these guys, so this is straight from the gut. And I really, really, really love giving people flowers, and this is like my opportunity to give people their roses when I get to introduce them. So, firstly, we have all the way from Temecula, California, all the way from Temecula, California. Like it is 4 o'clock where this man is at right now, man. Third grade, man. I met this guy in third grade, man. We have been like this since middle school, man. Like inseparable, man. I got the opportunity to go see him in October for the first time since he moved over here on the West Coast. He is literally my brother. I can't even say brother from another, man. He's literally my brother, man. He's always been there for me. He's always there to listen for me. And we may not chat every single day, man, but we pick up the phone and it's like we never ever lost a second, man. I am so honored to have him here. He's been one of my biggest supporters. He's been one of my biggest friends, man, and I'm so honored to call him my brother. So without further ado, I get to introduce the one, the only, the Staff Sergeant of the U.S. Marine Corps, Frank Robinson.
Yo, what up, boy?
Yo, what's going
My
on,
God,
bro?
what's happening?
They said spell the city for you. That is Teme. I can't even spell it. Luca.
Nah, man. Nah.
It's near San Diego. That's all y'all need to know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
my guy Frank Nitty. So I'm really glad that you could join though, Frank, man. Like this is the one right here, man. Um, now I get to get another guy. We didn't grow up together, man, but he's like a huge big brother to me. Same thing. He's always there for some amazing advice. He has always been there to chat with, man. He's been a huge role model, probably, and he didn't even realize it, man. Just the example that he has always set with his personality, with his maturity, with his desire to diffuse situations. Like I've seen him, literally diffusing situations. He is Chester, PA's finest. Currently residing in New Jersey, but he is the finest from Chester, PA. Like that name ring bells in Chester. So without further ado, I get to introduce my brother Ishmael Adin Malik. Ish.
My brother, what's up, man? Appreciate
Um,
Big
appreciate
Ish.
that intro. What's up? What's going on, kid? Frank,
I'm
what's up
good.
with you, good brother?
Not much, bro.
Stay
Not much.
sergeant, man. You ever heard of the boy David Goggins, man?
We can get
Nah,
into that. That's a whole nother.
I read the book. I read the book,
You
man.
read the book?
That's why since May I was running around doing this foolishness and didn't go get that surgery.
See?
Yeah, I
And
mean?
that's why I gotta
See?
that's why I gotta warn people like that brother is different up here. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah. He
hmm
seen some things that I wouldn't even want to. The book was crazy, man. But that's a
book is
different
book is amazing
conversation,
though.
though. Yes, indeed.
hmm
Yes, indeed.
But no, man, I'm familiar. I've seen some of his spoken things. I haven't read the book, but I have seen David Goggins talk on a few different shows. Man, he's an amazing
Gotcha.
brother with an amazing story, man. So
Right.
if you guys watch and get a
Definitely.
chance, check him out. Just look him up on YouTube, David Goggins, man. Just listen to him, man. Brother got
Right.
this wise brother right there.
Yeah.
Um, but like the topic, man, let's just jump into it, man. What did you guys
Mm-hmm.
think about it? Like when I asked you guys, like, you want to come and talk about gluttony, like what makes a
Mm-hmm.
person a glutton? How do you guys define gluttony? Like one of y'all just kind of jump in and talk about what you thought about the topic initially.
I
Oh,
mean,
I'm
I jump.
sorry, my fault. Ish,
Yeah.
before you start going, I forgot to mention Ish is also a certified personal trainer.
This is
I
true.
talked about how Frank was in the Marines. Ish is a certified personal trainer, pure impact. I'm gonna put it
Extreme
up on the
pure
screen so
impact.
you can
Yes,
see it.
indeed.
You can follow it
There
right
it
there
is.
at pure.
You
That's
got
two
the you
underscores.
got the joint on too, right? That's you,
Yeah,
right?
Yep,
yeah.
two
Yes, sir.
underscores pure impact. If you are looking for a
Movement is
personal
medicine,
trainer,
baby. Movement is
will body
medicine,
get
baby.
weak if body don't move.
Say, man, that's the science, bro. That's the science right there.
That's that is a scientific fact,
It
bro.
is period.
That's
It don't get no
irrefutable
realer
right
than that.
there.
Yeah, exactly. But
So
we was talking about gluttony when I thinking of the
yeah,
word, man. First thing came to my mind was when I think about my own personal battles with it, like through stress and depression and anxiety and being comfortable at times, being complacent, being in love. You know how they say you putting on them that love weight, things of that nature. So for me, when I think about being glutton, a lot of my past experience with it personally has just been through like stress and going through some certain type of depressions or whatever I'm dealing with, firsthand in life. Yeah.
yeah. And what about you, Frank?
Uh, for me, so I got these vices, right?
Mm,
Um, I got things that I can do, and I got things that I can't do or shouldn't do, based off of just. So I'm 33, so trying to figure out and understand my body,
mm,
over the years, and you know how your body changes as you get older. You might have it might not react to some things that you intake like you used to when you were 20. So for one of those things for me is like flour and sugar, right? So when I
mm,
think of gluttony, I think of like anything that you're doing excessively, right?
mm,
To the point that you end up hurting yourself versus feeding yourself, right?
mm,
So like instead of actually giving your body sustenance, you're actually like gorging it, right? To the
mm,
point where your body can't differentiate between, hey, this is good for me, I need to break this down, to this is good for me. I like this. I like the way this feels. I'm just going to hold on to this.
mm,
So,
mm.
like when I think about gluttony, I think about excessive
Yeah.
intake,
Right. Overindulgence.
which we're all guilty of to
Right.
some degree,
Right.
right?
Right.
No
Right.
judgment here, right?
And we'll dive
I
into it, and like because gluttony is so much deeper than food, and I feel like when you hear the term, you relate it like solely to like eating too much food, man. But you could be a
Mm.
glutton to work. You could be a glutton to punishment,
Working
pain.
out.
You could be right
Yeah.
working out, like the
Right.
hurt. You could be a glutton to
exactly.
alcohol, like you be a
Mm-hmm.
glutton to drugs. You be a glutton to TV, sports. You can be a
Women.
glutton to a whole oh man, woman, woo.
Yeah.
So
Straight
like
up.
it's just that overindulgence. In the definition that I saw for gluttony, it said that when you get to the point that like you're not you're taking away from other people, like you're taking so much in for yourself that other people aren't able to enjoy it. So
Yep.
and I think about like I grew up in a household of one, two, three, four, five, six. there was 6 of us in the household growing up, and there'll be times, I come home from the restaurant, I put my little doggy bag in the fridge, and my mom, I love you, mom, but mom Dukes next morning tearing that thing up. Now I wasn't paying no rent, so I couldn't really say nothing,
Right.
but
Yeah.
but I used to be
Or we
real
used to
upset, like, dang man, like
put
yo,
something in the refrigerator or the freezer and write our names on it. Like, don't
Yep.
touch this. Like, come on,
the
man.
wife still snatch them, don't they, Frank?
Exactly. Definitely. Definitely.
I don't know. I might be more guilty. I don't know.
Well, as the one eating everybody food.
Listen,
No.
if it's smacking like that,
Right.
don't
So
leave your plate around me.
yes, let's dive into one of the first questions. So how have you seen gluttony show up in the lives of men in particular?
Mm,
Oh man.
mm,
You go, Frank.
cool.
You good, bro.
All right, cool. So specifically, I can speak from my experience, right? So being in the Marine Corps for the last 9.5 years, just from the people that I've seen, right? So I deal with the training portion, so in my unit,
Mm,
and a lot of times we have to deal with Marines who are overweight, and we call them like out of standards, right? Basically, you either can't fit in your uniform, you can't pass a physical fitness test, or you're actually deemed out of standards or overweight by the Marine Corps standards, which is like they want you to be within a certain form, right? Based on your height, right? So with these guys, a lot of times I see like how gluttony shows up is really just what they choose to do with their time. Um, so again, gluttony for not doing what you're supposed to do. If you're supposed to be training, right? Like that's what we get paid to do. We get paid to paid to train and paid to fight. If you're not training, if you're not keeping up with the things that you need to do to make yourself successful as a Marine, then I think like if you're playing video games too much, that's what a lot of these kids do nowadays, right? And we all guilty of it, right? Watching too much TV, a glutton for TV. Ish, I know you read a lot of books, right? So
mm,
um, getting knowledge, but not being edified, right? So like you can watch
right.
TV, but how much is it really adding to your life, right?
Right.
So like gluttony for TV, and then of course you got food, you got alcohol, you got tobacco, um, all those things really come into play.
Mm,
I've seen it firsthand. I don't like what it does, but I think anything in moderation can be okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Ish.
For me, the job I work at, so I would say like I never really used to be around a lot of brothers, like hang around a lot of cats, unless it was like sports involved or something like that. So the last job I worked at was like in banking, and so it was like being in a office setting. So I wasn't around a lot of men like that all the time. But working at SEPTA now and on the regional world, man, it's predominantly brothers, and the culture out there, man, is like death. And I'm just being honest, man. Like when I first got there, I remember I first used to walk through the crew room and like they be like, damn, who the ball? So then a couple cats that I started talking to, some old heads, the first thing they said to me kind of like it blew my mind, and it was funny. First of all, because they didn't know me personally, but they was like, yeah, man, used to be like you back in the day, whoa, when I first got here. But trust me, you ain't gonna look like that in a couple years, man. This job got a way of, taking you down. You can't get no sleep. You're gonna be out here eating and all this stuff. And I'm like, you don't even know me to even put this on me, right?
Mm.
So this was early on, but then as time went on, I remember like coming into the crew room, and it's like 8:30, and I'm not exaggerating, man. It's like 8:30, 9:30 in the morning. Come in the crew room, and dudes is eating chicken wings, man, from like the 7-Eleven that's out in the hall. And I'm talking about chicken wings, they eating pizzas. And then you come back, get on your train, you come back at lunchtime, it's probably like 1 o'clock. The same dude got like some Chinese big platter. So you talking about gluttony. Then you see them later on in Suburban Station. They probably got chips, they got a Pepsi, and I'm like, for me, just being around that job and just seeing these brothers and just seeing the penguin walks, how they waddle through the halls and all of the different type of health issues they have, man, or that we have as people, as men. For me, just it highlighted, man, like certain cultures of that. Because I mean, like just speaking for myself, I got my whole vice is sweets, man. I love cookies, man. Anybody that know me know I love cookies, man. But I I listen to my body too. So at once, like you just said, Frank, when you was younger, you was able to do certain things. And I'm pretty sure back in the day, my body was telling me, giving signs that I don't want this, but I still was eating it. I was young and it didn't matter. But as I age and I don't want to say age, but as I've matured, when I eat cookies now, I listen to my stomach. So my taste buds like, yo, this is rocking, it's awesome. Let's do this. But my stomach is bubbling, and my
Mm.
stomach like,
Right.
yo, man, like I don't know why you giving me this. This ain't helping. This, you know what I'm saying? This gonna
Right.
slow us down. This gonna have you not operating at your optimum. So this being like Scepter has, man, you talking about eye opener, and has created even more of it's like even more of a motivational piece for me to be more focused on taking care of myself, what I'm eating, how I'm sleeping, and all of these different things. Because I look at my peers and I see not only the lifestyle that they have, but I see how it sets them up for things like COVID. So when you get sick, your body, because you haven't taken care of yourself, so your body is susceptible to all of
Mm.
these different type of diseases that's trying to take over us, man. So that's Scepter has highlighted it for me, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Straight
Bro,
up.
and it's crazy that you mentioned that, Ish. And I probably since I got out of high school, I've hovered between like 160 to 170 since I got out of high school. I graduated high school in 2006.
Right.
Since COVID hit, I shot up to like 195.
Mm.
My blood pressure typically is around like 110 over 64. I got my blood pressure measured like 2 months ago. I was like 130 over 95.
Right.
And I'm like, like how? Like, what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right.
not big yet. Like, I'm getting a little bit of a gut. And I think I messaged both of you guys. I know we chatted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you the picture of me in Puerto Rico. You see my gut was hanging over my shirt. And I talked to you, Frank, and you was like, bro, like, first thing you need to do is start drinking water. So thank you guys both for your advice for that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy how quickly it can sneak up on you. Like, what I'm saying? Like, here I am, 160. I'm like, in my 20s, I don't gain a pound. Like,
Right.
man, I go get the Big Macs from McDonald's, the apple pies, the 4 for 4s from Wendy's, and I'm good,
Yeah.
man. And this COVID year, man, I done shot up 25
Yeah.
pounds easy. And that was, as of last month. I might be a little bit more than that now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because what you were saying about like what you eat, man. I used to be able to eat the double cheeseburgers from McDonald's and stuff. Last time I went to McDonald's and got something that wasn't an apple pie, that joint sat in my stomach like a rock, bro.
Right.
Like it just
Yeah.
sat there, and
Yep.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, like I can't tolerate this no more, man." So I'm proud to say I don't eat from McDonald's anymore. Outside of the pies, I do like their apple pies. Um, but
That's funny.
I couldn't imagine driving through that
I've been
drive-through,
waiting.
man.
Oh, I've been waiting a long
and even
time.
then, I only hit the joint out in the suburbs. I don't hit the joint at Broad and Diamond no more, man. I ain't
That's
going
what's
to that
up.
one no more. I want to take a second to respond to something that my boy Tim put up. So Tim says that
Yeah.
gluttony is a noun defined as habitual greed. Um, then he says habitual is an adjective that's defined as doing something constantly as a habit. Then he
Mm-hmm.
says, so gluttony is a habit. A habit is a regular tendency or practice, which means gluttony is something that occurs regularly, may be hard to give up, and can be taught or learned.
Mhm.
And I know Frank pre show we were talking about that being taught or learned. So what have you seen in response to that comment right there about like inherited gluttony?
Oh man, as a black man, um, and especially coming like being raised in North Philly and Germantown, uh, the access, about this. It's like what's our access to food, right?
Right.
That's the Poppy store, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We got our hoagies for cheap. We got our soda for cheap. We got our cakes and our snacks for
The
cheap, right?
day soda, the
That'll
day
that'll
soda.
raise
I know
us.
y'all like that day
Yo,
soda, boy.
that Dave's with the man, you should be able to get 3 liters of Dave's soda for like $1, yo. Tell me where that's
Yo,
okay. Um,
it,
and somehow, some way, I wasn't an obese child. Uh, I don't know how, but really, I like what Tim was saying, man. It's absolutely habitual, right? So when we talk about children and we talk about what signals we send to children and what we give to children as far as what's okay, right? So we're the gatekeepers as far as what do we want our child to be exposed to, right? So your kids are exposed to all types of things. You're introducing them to sugar. You're introducing them to things that one sugar is a a simple carb. I know you know this is right. It's a simple carb, right? So cane sugar, glucose. Your body breaks it down really, really quickly, right? And then when your body breaks it down really quickly, it has to do something with it, so it turns it into energy. And what happens is this chemical in your brain called serotonin gets released, right? And that is the feel good chemical, right? So it's like almost like adrenaline, like you feel good. You understand? That's what the sugar high is, right? And everybody knows after the sugar high, the freaking sugar crash comes, right?
Right.
So when you're a kid and you're being exposed to that over and over again, like what Tim said, habitual, right? It's habitual. You're not understanding that you're doing anything wrong, but habitually you're being exposed to this high, right? So it's almost like a drug, and that's not just with sugar. That's with fatty foods. That's with salty foods. Things that fire off your taste buds and make, oh, I like this, I like the way this feels, right? And so the reason that it's doing that is your brain is recognizing that this feels good, right? So habitual there, right? So when you're dealing with those generational things that you pass down to your kids, when you talk about food, when you talk about habits, that's what I see the most, especially in my family. I see it all over the place. So
Well said, my brother.
What
Well
about you, Ish?
said.
I know you do a lot of training of individuals. And how much of that is you need to work out more, and how much of it is you need to change your diet up?
Man, it's about 70-30. You need to change your diet, man.
Mm,
And I take it for myself. Like I worked. I mean, I've been going to the gym forever. I worked out as a young buck, but I really started going to the gym probably like 2007 or something like that. And I remember just being real swole all the time. And
mm,
I thought I was eating right. I thought I was eating properly. I wasn't eating quote unquote bad, but I was eating bad. You know what I'm saying? Once I
mm,
start getting a better understanding of nutrition and eating lean and cutting the sugars out and all, my body changed. When I'm talking about dramatically, man. So when I started doing those, I would start pushing myself to do these 30-day no sugar diets, man. And the first time
hey,
the first month I did that first, no artificial sugar, no bread. Obviously, I don't drink or smoke none of that, but I had threw that in there for other people who do it just so they could get in on the abstaining from these different type of vices. I'm telling you, man, like after that month, it wasn't even, it took like 3 weeks because the first 2 weeks I realized what the addiction to sugar was. I never experienced that. And I remember like the first 2 weeks I went through I started having these crazy mood swings. I could like feel internally like something was going on with me. Then I started having these headaches. And then eventually I remember like saying something to my wife one day and she like, hey, like you need to get a cookie. You need to eat something. Like you are agitating everybody in the house. One of them.
yo,
So what happened was I Googled one day. I just Googled. I was sitting on a train and I was like, what's the I Googled sugar whatever, like being without sugar
mm,
whatever, sugar withdrawal.
mm,
yeah,
Yo, every symptom I had. And I realized then I was like, yo, this joint is a narcotic, man.
mm,
Like this joint is
yo,
it's a narcotic,
straight
man.
up.
mm,
Straight up, it's a narcotic, man.
mm,
So when I realized why I was feeling like that, it gave me energy, like, all right, man, we're gonna beat this. So after like about 13, 14 days, after that it was all downhill. And I remember like I still was working out. I noticed I was getting smaller. Certain people like, man, you losing weight, man. But then I started like, I was working out in the garage one day and I had the mirror on. I looked at me and I was like, I've never in my life been this cut, man,
mm,
ever. And I was like, the only thing I've done different this whole month is change my nutrition because I mean I was working out the same amount of
mm,
time. It was just the nutrition, and I realized I was like, so that even gave me more energy or fuel when I was talking to my clients about like, no, listen, man, we can sit in here, we can do all types of abs, all types of squats, we can do hanging knee raises, we can do some crunches. Listen,
Don't
man, it
matter.
start in your kitchen and your cabinets.
mm.
Like if you don't change what's in there, change what you buying for your groceries. It's like taking a shower, man, and then going playing in dirt afterwards. Like, what's
Straight
the
up.
point?
I like
What's the
that.
point? Like, what's the point, man? So
Oh
that
man.
definitely, man, I say like 70-30, man. Like you gotta master the nutritional side of it, bro. You have to. You
Seventy
have to.
thirty
Yo,
is
real quick, I like what your wife said. You know what's the craziest thing? Because you just identified sugar as being a narcotic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, in all honesty, it is. It has every single it checks off every box, right? For what it does to your body, what happens when you don't use it, right? For an extended period of time after you do use it. Would you go up to a freaking a crackhead or like somebody who's just struggling with substance abuse, right? And would you offer them that, like the substance that they're struggling with? Like if you had a heroin addict, would you go up and say, "Hey man, hey, take some heroin, man. You tripping, man. You out here,
man. Like
you out here
clean up,
scaring people, bro. Man, don't shoot this up real quick." Yo, you wouldn't. And it's essentially the same thing, man. So I'm glad that's a dope point. Ish. Big time,
that's crazy that y'all say that, because I was just, and Frank, I used to be a huge candy eater as a kid, and I was just talking to someone yesterday, and I was like, I really don't eat candy that much. Like I'll have like the occasional Snicker bar, and every now and then I get a craving for some peach rings, but other than that, man, like I don't be eating candy like that. And
not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Real quick, but when Frank was, I was going to say this when Frank was talking, y'all was talking about the sodas in North Philly.
Yeah.
You think about, man, we used to get penny candy, man. Penny candy. Now I'm aging y'all.
No, that was a thing.
We would get a bag and go to the local poppy. When it wasn't poppies at that time, it was African American black-owned stores in the neighborhood, and they would have penny candy. Man, you go get 100 cherries with 50 sugar spices, like anything that's just loaded with sugar, man. We running around 100 miles an hour, man, all around the neighborhood, amped up, man.
Yeah, man, I see that with my daughter too, man. Like I'll have like a whole meal in front of her, and she'll be like, "Can I get the candy?" And she won't eat nothing on her plate, and I'm sitting there like, "You're not getting no candy when you're with me," because like I see her not even wanting real food or like real food right now because of it, man. So we got to be really
people
mindful.
that get their kids, like they used to get a baby the bottle, man, to the point
where they put the sugar,
they teeth out in their mouth, man. I mean, anything to satisfy that baby, to keep the baby from screaming and hollering, like, put some juice in his bottle or her bottle. And then you see the kid, man, and the sugar done rotted their teeth all out their face, man.
I just ate some strawberries last night, and I poured the whole thing of sugar on the plate and dipped each strawberry in the sugar before I ate it.
Strawberries and sugar?
Come on. How do you I don't even know how that works, but
sugar?
Oh, I got like halfway through, and I was like, I don't want to eat these no more.
That's your body saying, "Yo, what we doing? What we doing?" No judgment.
I used to eat it a lot as a kid, so that's what I used to eat it a lot as a kid. So I was like, "Oh man, I haven't had this in a while." I tried that joint, ain't work out.
That sound nasty, man.
Hey man, I wouldn't recommend it.
Strawberries and sugar.
I definitely wouldn't recommend it, man. But no, I think y'all hitting on some real good points with the sugar thing, because like Melanie just put a comment up that says sugar is. There goes. Sugar is hitting in so much stuff, especially stuff that's not sweet. And Tim has a comment here, and at the end, it's a longer one, but at the end he does say, if we educate ourselves on how to read the nutrition facts and learn portion control, then we can pass that knowledge to our kids.
I last year, it was right before the pandemic, so it had to be 2020. It was like February or 2 weeks before the shutdown. I had met this nutritionist, right? So I'm on, trying to find out a better way to eat, yada yada yada. So the sister, she was like, she's like, well, what do you eat? So I'm telling her what normal stuff I snack on. So what's the name of them crackers I was eating? Like Townhouse or something? I don't know, but it's these certain type of crackers.
The round joints?
They was like, not the round joints.
The oval type joints.
Yeah, but they like some, I don't know, black pepper joints or something, but they crazy. And in my mind, I'm like, they healthy. I'm like, these ain't too. It's not too. There's nothing wrong with these. So she told me. Matter of fact, she told me to write the stuff out, and I sent it to her. So when we had our sit down, she brought it up. So she was like, "How many do you eat?" And I'm like, I mean, when I pop the bag,
the whole sleeve. What we talking about?
She did what the brother just was mentioned. Tim mentioned. She went online while we sitting there, and she brought up like the nutritional. She brought up the back of the box. So she was like, "Let's read the back of the box." And I'm like, "Well, it's only 120 something calories." She was like, "Yes, for like 7 of them." I'm like, "For 7 of them?" So I'm like, "So I'm not eating 7 of them Jones. I'm eating like 37 of them. She like, that's the problem. And then you start looking at the nutrition breakdown, and you like, wow. So the science and all of that, man. Like, so when you shopping, just like he said, you got to be really conscious about
Yeah.
what's in that box. So when I start doing them no sugar diets, now I know, like when I go to the market, I'm like, yo, oh, they got added sugar. Nah, we not eating that trash.
Yo, that's the
All if
one.
it got added sugar in it, negative. I
Mm.
don't want it. I
So
don't want it,
and the
man.
question about that, so a statement, and then I'll have a question for you guys about that. The statement is so like my guilty pleasure is Oreos. Like that's the one thing. Like I'll get a joint of double stuffed Oreos with almond milk, and I'll go through it. The serving size for Oreos is two.
Daddy.
Yo, the serving size for Oreos is two.
No,
Like
it ain't.
two.
Imagine that. Imagine
No, it
that.
ain't.
Two.
Show me the box. Show me the box.
It's
That ain't
two,
true.
bro.
Ain't no way.
I mean, I looked at that joint one day and said, two? I'm only supposed to eat two of these joints? Man, I
Who
might
can
go
eat
through
2
half the
Oreos?
pack.
Easy. Easy.
Like, two. Like, when you buy the solo joints, there's four in there. Like, well,
They
dog,
used to
you,
not even have to put that stuff on there.
right.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So,
They used to tell
But
you
two,
nothing. Now
yeah.
they gotta tell you if it's GMO and all
mhm.
types of stuff in there now.
Mm.
um,
Before they like, yeah, man, just have at it. Just have at
so,
it.
but with that being said, how do you train or how have you guys trained your bodies to kind of adjust to that? Because if you used to eating the whole sleeve, I eat two Oreos, I'm still hungry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right.
sometimes
I'm
I
gonna
drink a little bottle of water like this. I might still be there. Well, water, of course, but like if I drink something small that's in the serving size, I might still be thirsty. I might still be hungry. Like, how do you kind of train your body? Is it like a gradual thing? Is it like a thing that you just, you know, like does it ever change? Like, do you just feel hungry forever? I heard people do like intermittent fasting, like that works where you eat a bunch more.
mhm.
Like, what would you guys recommend?
I
Frank?
go.
Yeah, I'll hit it first real quick.
Go ahead,
So
Frank. Yeah.
I recommend. I got a really good tip from a good friend of mine when I first enlisted, and she was like meal prepping. She used to do like fitness competitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't look into fitness competitions. Those people eat terribly, right?
Right.
Their fat content is ridiculous. But anyway,
Right.
one thing that she did say from her nutritionalist that was helping her out is that you know those the biggest two shelves in your fridge that you
Hmm.
have.
Mm-hmm.
So those biggest two shelves, you should have Tupperware that fits those two shelves,
Hmm.
right? And so what the Tupperware is for leftovers, it's for portion control, right? It's for
Hmm.
portion
Mm-hmm.
sizes, right? So if you
Right.
think about portion, you think about that's what we're talking about, right? And you think about a plate size, the average plate size is supposed to be anywhere from 8 to 12 ounces, right?
Hmm.
If you take a McDonald's medium large meal, you put it on a plate, it won't fit.
Hmm.
And there's a reason why McDonald's stopped giving you plates. Like they used to actually give you placemats
Hmm.
and other
Mm-hmm.
things to put your food on. They don't have
Right.
those anymore. Remember, you
Nah.
used to pour it out in a little cardboard joint
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it used
yeah,
to
yeah,
fit in
yeah.
there. They got rid of
Hmm.
that for a reason, right?
Hmm.
It's
Gotcha.
all marketing, is all getting people away from thinking about how much they're eating, right? If you go to a fine dining restaurant, they serve portions, right?
Hmm.
And they have
Right.
this plate about this big,
Hmm.
Right.
but the amount of food is on there is in this big. But if you look at the
Yeah.
plate, there's a little a little
Right.
cup, like a little indent, right? That's where the
Hmm.
food
Mm-hmm.
fits into because that's how much food you really should be intaking, right?
Hmm.
Right.
So I think if people invest in Tupperware, invest in their leftovers, and you start actually meal prepping, right? For a couple
Hmm.
days, doesn't be the whole week, just for a couple days. Like you make spaghetti, Reese. I know you like to make your spaghetti, right?
Hmm.
Just toss your spaghetti in your Tupperware, right? And
Hmm.
don't fill it, but just put in there. Try using serving sizes at first, right?
Hmm.
I think that's the best way to go about that, yo. Yeah, portions are crazy. I have a struggle with portions myself,
Yeah.
especially when it's something I like. But I just try to do it maybe once to twice a month versus indulging, like overindulging, right?
Hmm.
Only because I know my body, I'm a blow the hell up. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
And my face will be out here. That's just how it is. I just know myself. I
Right.
know my body. I know my family
Mm-hmm.
history is just that just is what it is.
Right.
So
What about you, Ish?
For me, I would say the first thing people should do is just be truthful to themselves, man. Like you got to be truthful about wanting to change, like
Mm.
because
Mm.
it's definitely a process. It's not something you're
mm,
gonna do overnight. You
Mm.
gotta set realistic goals about what you shopping for. You gotta definitely. That's the first thing I would say. when you going out shopping to make your shopping list. And like we was talking about, talk about the nutritional. Find different. It's like if I like cookies, so I start finding cookies that's sugar free cookies, stuff like
Mm,
that. So it's like I can still get my cookie fix, but it's not going to be at the same sugar intake that the ones that I really like are. And
mm,
then you'll be amazed, man, like how you marriage your eating with your fitness.
mm,
Because the more you buy into taking care of yourself, the more you start looking at certain things is like no nos,
mm,
for the like I said, you just look at it like, now I'm not putting that in my system, man. It's not good for me. Those things. So for me, that's why I still fight. I still struggle with it. That's why I do those 30-month, 30-day challenges, man. Like
mm,
I don't do them just because I like, yo, let's not eat sugar for the month. Now I do
mm,
those because at certain, like I'm gonna tell you, like right now, to be as transparent as I can, like right now, the fact that I got that surgery last week, I'm bedridden.
mm,
I can't move around. My whole slogan is movement is medicine. The
mhm,
body gets weak if the body don't move, and I'm not able to do the things that I love to do. So, what's the next? The next thing is comfort.
mm,
So you're sitting in the house getting comfort food, man. So one of
mhm,
my homies, I don't, like my brother, he came over the weekend and brought me this huge thing of chocolate chip cookies, right?
mm,
So of course my eyes lit up,
mhm,
made me feel good. I ate two of them, and while laying in the bed after eating two of them, my stomach started rumbling.
mm,
And but then the discipline that I've built up over the years kicked in, because when
mm,
my stomach started rumbling, my mind was like, "Ish, we ain't doing this, man. Like we not doing this, man." So I put the cookies down. My lady came in. She's like, "Oh, you only ate two cookies? Wow!" And I'm like,
mm.
not that I don't want them, but I don't want them. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like
right.
you could take them, downstairs. So once you set goals and like attainable goals, and you change the way you do things, it become who you are. So it's easier to stray away from things that, at the end of the day, it's about being harmful. Like
Mm,
glutton, in a sense, is a negative. Like that you overindulge and you are doing something to your temple, man. That's not a good look. So at
mhm,
the end of the day, man, you got to be conscious. I always tell everybody, man, anybody that I train or just anybody in any like everyday conversation, just listen to your body, man. Your body is going to
mm,
tell you. I don't care how you
mhm,
talk about how it tastes, but your body gonna tell you, man. It's gonna tell you, I don't want this.
mm,
I don't want this. Like, stop feeding me this. Stop feeding me this. So either it's gonna tell you by just the feelings, or it's gonna tell you, hopefully, when you go get a checkup and them numbers not
yeah.
looking right, and them
Yeah.
Yeah.
doctor gonna let you know, like, hey man, you gotta change the way you eat, you gotta get active, you gotta move around. So I think the best way to start is having a truthful conversation with yourself, and then applying some of the methods like Frank said, man. Like, get some Tupperware bowls. Yo, I'm gonna tell you what's funny. I heard Giannis, the freak.
Yeah.
They asked him like what was like one of the things he really remembered when he first came to the United States, and he was like portions.
Mm,
So I was like, what is he talking about? And he was like, he said, because him and his brothers and them came up, in poverty. And he
mhm,
said because he was the oldest brother, he was like, their plates, they really had this, they were sharing everything. And
mhm,
he said when he came to the United States, man, he said they gave him a plate of food, and he was looking at the plate like, this all for me? Like
mm,
he couldn't believe like the portions of food
mm,
that we was getting
Yeah.
served. So
mm,
like that's important, man. Definitely meal prep, shop right. I mean, like, write your shopping list out, so when you get to the market, you just don't see things like kids see when we used to see the
yeah.
cereal with all the sugar. We like, oh, let me get that, let me get that, let me get that, and you walking out, you ain't got no greens, you don't got nothing
Mhm.
in your
Yeah.
cart, that's going to sustain you, man, and
No, that's
preserve you, so to speak. So
well, this is real good stuff, man. I hope y'all
yeah.
taking notes if y'all watching, man, because they give a real good game, man. And Frank, I know we've had conversations in the past, and you always talk about what will your quality of life look like, not right now at 30, not at 40, but when you're 60, 70 years old, and the decisions that you're making today are going to directly impact what quality of life looks like. You don't want to be like I work in social services, man. So I see a lot of people like 55 that are king. You know what I'm saying? 50 years old with a walker. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you
Yeah.
50 years old with a walker? Like that's
Right. Yeah.
crazy, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in Frank, when we talked, you were like, the decisions you make now are gonna directly impact what your quality of life looks like over down the road. And Ish, you said something that's huge when you said, you go to the doctor. Like, we gotta go to the doctor. Like, you know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? Like, like we gotta go. Like, you know what I'm saying? The
You
doctor
gotta
can't give you
go.
your numbers if you don't go.
Right.
Like,
As nerve wracking as it is, man. Like you got to get a tune up, man. People out here washing their cars, getting their rims, getting their oil change. You do anything for your car, all this other foolishness. But listen, man, come on, man. Self-preservation over
mhm,
everything, man. That's rule number one
bro.
in life, man.
mhm,
Self-preservation, man. How you gonna know what's going on with you if you don't go get checked out? I know it's nerve-wracking, but come on, man.
mhm.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, man. You catch most of these things if you catch them early enough, they're
Right.
at least manageable, if not
Yeah.
preventable altogether. And like to the point I made about my blood pressure, my cousin is a nurse. I texted her. I said, "Yo, what's going on? My numbers are up." She said, "You're not bad yet, but at this rate, you'll need medicine in like 5 years."
Right.
That was all I needed to
And what we
hear.
doing at that point? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What we talking about? Medicine?
Right.
Nah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Come
she
on,
was like,
man.
in like 5 years, you're gonna have blood pressure, and they're gonna have to put you on blood pressure medicine. I'm like, in 5 years, I'll be 38. I'm not trying to pop nobody blood pressure pills at 38. Like
Makes no
that's
That's
sense.
like
wild.
stopping every
All you
five
gotta do is
miles to
change.
put
Yeah,
oil in your car because
right.
it's
Right.
leaking.
So, um,
Change your quality of life. That's it. That's it. You gotta
so
fight back, man. So it's that medicine thing is just to me,
mm,
man. It frustrates me, man.
mm,
Because I
Yo,
mean, I got
the
brothers and
the the
yeah.
pharmaceutical, like America's pharmaceutical, like the worth of it, the American
Mm,
pharmaceutical complex, right?
mm,
It's it's worth more than the GDP of entire other countries.
mm,
it's
Like
crazy, man.
there's other countries, their worth
mm,
is not as much as the
It's
American
the
pharmaceutical complex.
pharmaceuticals, man.
There's a
mm,
reason for that, right? And
Right,
y'all know what it is.
right, right.
Try to
mm,
keep people sick,
And that's
It's
crazy
but
because I would one
mm,
of my positions in social services, I did visits with the elderly and disabled population, and I did in-home assessments of them. And one of the things I had to do was get their medication list. I would have like cats that was 52 that would have 5 pages worth of medications.
mm.
What? Like, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
scary,
yeah, I'm
bro.
like, what meds are you on? They be like, oh, I got a printout over there. So I'm already thinking like a printout, like, yeah, I mean,
That's scary, man.
oh,
and
when
they
they be
just
saying the prices of them joints,
like
man.
that joint is crazy, like
Yeah,
crazy. So like
yeah,
we got to go get ourselves checked out, man. And my mom puts a comment here, black men have trouble with going to the doctor. I know that in this essence, it's not health insurance is not as easily accessible for men as it is for women, especially if you're low income or if you're unemployed, if you're working under the table. Um,
man.
I
It's brothers
know.
that got benefits that don't go to the doctors,
Yeah,
man.
I'm a brother with benefits that hasn't been to the doctor yet. I'm going to change that.
You don't
I
get
did a
so you don't
screening.
get you don't get no yearly exam.
I haven't been since I hurt my knee. Honestly, I went a lot around the time
Sheesh.
I hurt my knee. That was 2015. I had
Come
my
on,
follow
man.
up in 2016, and
And
I
you
haven't
haven't
been
been to the
back.
wow.
I've done my little screen. You do your little wellness screening every year to get your insurance. You get the premium knocked off, and that's when I found
So
out my
you don't,
blood
you
pressure was
haven't
up.
had your blood checked, your
I haven't
Yo,
had
that's the
nothing.
one.
cholesterol, none of that
You
stuff,
get your blood
man.
drawn, bro. It'll tell you what you're deficient in, like the
Hmm.
things that
Yeah,
you like, the vitamins, your minerals, like your iron, your potassium, all
Hmm.
all of
that stuff,
that,
bro.
all that, man. Like
It'll
they
So.
could
find all
see
those irregularities that could like lead to
Hmm.
like early
cancer
detection
and
of
all that stuff.
cancer.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
look at all. They like your certain cells
Hmm.
are low, your white blood. Man, listen, man.
Yeah. And it's
That's
crazy. It's
you got to
That's
crazy
be
because
on
manual.
it,
I
man.
like you go and you're so, but like another thing I will say to anyone who hasn't been in a while, do not let them, because they've done this to me. Last time I went for a checkup, well, before my knee appointment, the first time I went for a checkup when I first got health insurance as an adult, I walked in there and this really happened, bro. The doctor was like, "Oh, well, what's going on? What you doing here?" I was like, just haven't had a physical in a few years. I wanted to get checked out. Fresh out of college, I just got my first job with benefits. It was like, so nothing wrong. I'm like, nah, I just want to get checked out. He like did the regular stuff, took my weight. He's like, no pain or nothing. I was like, nah. He was like, all right, we'll come back in like 2 or 3 years. Like,
Nah,
what? Like,
nah.
don't let
Just
Nah,
them do
listen.
that to you.
Get
Like,
get
nah.
yourself get yourself a family that once you get your own medical benefits,
Mhm,
go into the network, whatever network you have. with your benefits, man. Find yourself a family practice. You could ask people in your family who they go to or something like that. Is it somebody that they respect and love and been going to for years? Sign up and go to them and tell them, man, you coming to get your first physical and you full checkup and get it annually. That's what you're supposed to do, man. Like every year I get all my blood work, the blood pressure, the fecal rectal exam, all that stuff, man. Like all the stuff that I be having crazy nervous anxiety about when I go, I'm like, I'm going though. You know, and sometimes I get there and they be like, your blood pressure is a little up. And I'm like, I'm nervous. And they like, okay, I get it. So as we talk through like the appointment, he like, oh, let me check your blood pressure again. And then he check it like, and he like, yes, it went down. And I'm like, yeah, man. I'm like, because last night I'm sitting there like, oh, what might they find tomorrow? You know, all of these different things. And you start like, but I'd rather know than not know, because I'd rather know
straight out
and be you know, preventative about what, you know, potentially could be going on with me than I go in there one day and they be like, man, if you'd have came 3 years ago, 5 years ago, man, we you know, I could have got this out because it would have showed in your blood, man. So, man, listen, it frustrates me, man, because I see a lot of people, and this ain't a vaccine conversation, but I see a lot of people thinking they can stay healthy through getting a shot, man, and they think like I'm gonna wave this flag about getting this vaccination, but it's like, bro, have you even been to the doctor and got your physicals? Like, how you bragging about a vaccination, but you haven't got your annual physicals. You don't know what your blood
straight
like.
up.
You don't know if you got diabetes. You don't know if you got your cholesterol is high, but you bragging about a vaccination, man. So it don't make sense. I tell you, so last week the week before my surgery, I had to go get a pre surgery exam. So when I went in there, and you know, I got a woman doctor now. She was like checking my heart out, and you know, you thinking they be gassing you, just saying stuff. So when she got finished, she was talking. She was like, and it sounds good. She was like, I just love the sound of your heart, and I'm like, what? And she was like,
Probably the first good one she heard in a while.
Yeah, she was like, no, the rhythm of your heart. She was like, the way she's like, you can. She's like, I can tell you're an athlete, and she was like, I've heard this same type of rhythm on people in their 70s. She was like, if you stay active, you won't age, man. Like you could be in your 70s still running, 80s still running, man. As long as you take care of yourself, man. So like even that for me just was like, yeah, I know. If I ain't doing something, I know I'm taking care of my temple, man. And that's
straight up.
that that's necessary out. It's just necessary, man. It's necessary.
So let's stay on that subject, guys. So what are some other benefits of seeking this healthier lifestyle and kind of controlling your gluttonous ways? Like what are some other benefits? Not just from like obviously, you know, the appearance, you get muscles, you look good, like you feel, you know, and things like that. What are some of like the psychological and the mental stuff that you could see help you out while you guys were going through it as well?
I go. Well, I can just. I'm gonna just start it from here. I was going through a nasty, and I mean nasty divorce, man. Like divorce, foreclosure, children being separated, taken to Atlanta, all of this stuff, man. And I had the same doctor, the same practice I was going to back in like I've been going to the same practice for like over 20 years, but this was like 2011, easy like 10 years ago. So my doctor, of course, knows me. So when I go to the doctor enough that when the doctor we talk, he know my life, he know my children, you know. So when he knew everything that was going on, and he looked at me, man. He's like, yo, I would expect your numbers to be totally different than they are. And he was like, the reason why they aren't, man. He was like, because you work out, you know, you take care of yourself. And he was like, man, just keep doing what you're doing. He was like, because if all my patients was like you, I would be out of business, you know. And that like stuff like that resonated. So I know for me, like that has sustained me, man. Like just being able to be conscious of my temple and taking care of myself is definitely, you know, basically put added years on my life, man. Because I don't feel like there's much of nothing I can't do now that I wasn't doing in my 20s. I don't feel slower. I don't feel nothing. Like I don't feel no.
Right.
You know, I got gray hair and I ain't got no hair on my head. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm back,
outside,
bro.
like I see you,
I'm on my
man.
way out.
I think you went down the land and got one of them injection joints.
I went,
Nah, man, but you like at the end of the day, man, just taking care of yourself, man, like that emotional piece, man, it's like it's nothing like it, man. When you know you it ain't about muscles, just knowing you feel good, man. Like you can go down, like you had the roughest day ever, man. 30 to 45 minutes in the basement, out back in the backyard, some calisthenics, push-ups, sprints, man. Your whole energy just be like,
again, that's that. Hey, the same chemical that gets released when you work out, it's the same chemical when you eat sugar and flour, the things that make you feel good, that feel good chemical, serotonin, that thing gets released. So when Ish talks about how running gives him a high, that's an actual thing. That's a scientific thing that's happening to his body. Like his body is, and that's what he's doing. He's replacing those cravings, right? And that habitual behavior of eating like the sweets routinely with his workout regime. I mean, that's all he's doing. And that's how he's able to sustain. That's how he looks so good. That's how I'm trying to be. Straight up.
Thank you, brother.
I need to be able to wipe my ass when I'm 65. That's what I tell people all the time. If I can't wipe my own ass, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Straight like
for real.
Straight like that.
My grandmother, God bless her, she's wheelchair ridden right now, right? She's 66 years old.
66.
I got a good friend of mine, you know, Dave Carty. His father is in his 70s, and that man could probably run like a 5K right now and be fine. But he switched to a vegan lifestyle. I think like in his late 50s.
Right.
And that's in his late 50s, but he always ate pretty good. Caribbean dude. So I don't know, man. Like you have to want better for yourself at a different age. I mean, you want better for your kids too. Like you want your kids taking care of you.
Right.
You want your kids enjoying their lives. You don't have to worry about people taking you places and wheeling you down the steps and, you know, making sure you're all right. And then it's just the morning, you know, when you get older and you wake up in the morning, you sit on the side of the bed and you try to you contemplate like this whole thing called life. You just like, damn, life is happening right now. Am I going to get up right now? I'm really about to show up for these people at work. Yeah, it's like an extra 20 seconds you take, right? Bones cracking and stuff. You do your stretch and stuff. Like imagine that 20 years from now when you're not worried about bones. The first thing you're doing is not stretching and thinking about life. The first thing you're doing is reaching to your right and grabbing 15 medicine bottles. You know what I'm saying? And popping those things in. And then you can worry about stretching. You know what I'm saying? It's unnecessary, yo. It's so preventable. All we have to do is be a little bit better right now. And we're not asking for a total radical change, just a little bit, right? So start looking at your diet. Go to your cupboard, go to your cabinet, open that joint up and look in it and see what's in there.
Right.
And in every box, if the first ingredient is sugar, or if the second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, or if the second or third ingredient is corn syrup, because those are the same damn things, right? They just disguise it in different ways, right? If the first 5 ingredients is any kind of sugar, glucose, sucralose is not too bad. It's low glycemic. But anyway, like you got to look for those things, those first couple ingredients, right? Read that shit, and if that stuff is no good, toss it. Just toss it, and then do what Ish did. Find a replacement. Find something that's similar to it. Y'all really you should be getting like an endorsement off this joint, but I'm gonna put y'all on game. This is something I've been using for a while. If you've seen this before, good for you. If you haven't, this stuff is money. So Reese,
monk fruit sweetener.
Reese, I'm gonna send this to you. I need your address though, bro. I'm gonna send this to you. This right here, like your strawberries with your sugar, same thing. Difference is this is plant derivative, right? This comes from a plant, right?
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna read it off for you. It's low glycemic, right? It's keto friendly, meaning that it doesn't spike your sugar, right? And it's a sugar replacement. And it comes from a fruit, right? There's no sugar, there's no sucralose, there's no glucose in that, but that stuff tastes just like sugar. It's one of the sweetest plants in the whole world, right? And it's a little expensive. It's more expensive than your typical Domino, you know, joint of sugar, right? But what we talking about here? We talking about making that change.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's
and
why
this stuff,
I eat a lot of dates.
Dates are money, yo.
Dates.
I hate those things, man. But like with other things, like when you mix them up, or it's money.
Money, man.
Money.
To that point, my mom says right here, it costs more to eat healthy. How would you guys respond to that?
Misconception.
It don't, man.
That's what they want us to believe, Mom.
It definitely don't cost.
Mm-mm.
Listen, the one thing with eating healthy, you just got to eat it. You got to eat it. It's not putting it in the freezer. That you got to eat it within a short time period. But it's not costly at all. It's not,
What it
and
costs
the
is
most
time.
cost. That's what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
Health,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Like that's the cost. Like forget about the financial thing. Think about your existence and how we going to age and grow old. Like listen, man. The one thing we've all should have learned about this pandemic, man, in COVID, is all the things they said why it was really attacking our communities.
Mhm.
Because if we got all these other side
Mhm.
issues from diabetes, and why do we have all these other issues? Because it's hereditary. We passed it down. It's not because my pop I got it through the blood. It's like, no, I didn't get it through the blood. I got it from the household. Got it from
Mhm.
the household. So the same way
Yep.
his grandmom and my mom cooked, they cooked, and then we cooked, and we just passing that on. That's the problem.
Mhm.
Somebody got
Yep.
to change it, man. Somebody got to change
Mhm.
the way we eat. I stopped eating chicken and turkey on like cold turkey in 2016. Haven't
Mhm.
had it since. So then I'm like, all right, so I guess I'm pescatarian now. And
Yeah.
I used to be like, it was hard to find things to eat. Man, it ain't hard to find nothing to eat now.
Mhm.
Nothing to
No.
eat now. And then you realize, like, man, you go get a quick bag of salad. Man, you could get creative the way you eat instead of like going to these fast food chains feeding you death, because that's all it is, man. It's
Mhm.
death. Feeding yourself death, man. End of the day, sodas. And we talk about, like, we haven't talked about alcohol and that type of stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't be trying to rain on people parade, but
No, do
I
that.
just speak for myself, man. When, like,
Yeah, man.
I see, cats always with the cigars and the liquor and all that type of stuff, man. I just be like,
Mhm.
it got to be moderation, and then what you doing to offset that. So
Mhm.
because if you always talking about what's the major favorite chicken cheesesteak place in the city,
Mhm.
and then you smoking and drinking, and I'm like, do you ever work out? Do you ever take care of yourself? Do you ever do anything and put any type of positive energy in your body, man, like to offset that? Because it's gonna come a time, like Frank was saying, as we get older, our habits change. So we not moving and grooving like we used to. But you might still have these horrible habits of eating crazy and smoking and drinking. Now how you offsetting that?
Mhm.
Which you gonna offset it now with medicine? Like that's gonna be that's the other. I'm gonna just go to the doctor and get some medicine, dog. Come on,
Then we talking
we
about then we really talking about money.
money.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
what we really talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Man, this is game right here, man. I hope y'all
yeah.
taking notes as watching, man. So what are some things that are probably in? I mean, I this might be a loaded question, but what are some things that are probably in like your average household that are healthy? Like the other day, I ate some boiled eggs for like dinner. I just was like, I don't feel like really cooking nothing, so I boiled up like 3 eggs and just ate them for dinner. Like, and I was cool after that. Like some days I'll get a little fruit tray and I'll just eat the fruit tray for dinner. But then sometimes I will get a fruit tray and I'm hungry in like an hour and I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't cook nothing because this fruit is here. But give me just some things
But
that you
listen,
want to put on the menu.
I think even like for me, it's not about the menu. I would say this. It's about the way you preparing it. So like I said, I don't eat chicken and turkey and all that stuff, but I do eat like fish. I do eat shrimp and all that.
Yep.
But if I'm eating fried fish and fried shrimp and all that, that's unhealthy. But if
Yep.
it's getting baked or steamed and all of those, it's like the way you preparing the food. It's a better way of digesting. It's easier for your system. So just not to say like it's nothing wrong with chicken or turkey. I mean, if
Mm,
that's what you want to eat, but how are you cooking the chicken? How are you eating the chicken? Is it
mm,
baked chicken? Is it broiled? Is it grilled? Or is it fried? Or is
mm,
it you know sweet potatoes? I love sweet potatoes, but I don't like them like yams. I don't like them with syrup and all the
mm.
sticky craziness on. I just want some sweet potatoes baked in the oven, bust them open. Might put some
Mm.
cinnamon there, or just eat them straight plain.
Yo,
So
that's the magic. People don't know. Talking
exactly.
about cinnamon ish.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Like I don't know
That's
the
a
science.
staple. If you don't got that in your cabinet,
Mhm.
Listen, like it's so for me, it's just about the way you prepare the food more than
Mm.
anything.
Mm.
Straight up, it's the way you prepare the food.
Yeah, and I'll say that because, like I said, when I had the blood pressure thing for like 2 weeks straight, I was like on it, like yogurt, solid fruit, like every day. And I really started, like, I started feeling energetic. Like, I'll take a nap. I got an hour long lunch break. I had like a half an hour lunch break my whole life. I got an hour long lunch break now. So I'm used to eating quick at lunch
Right.
and getting back in there. So now, like the next half an hour, like every day at my new job, I'll go sit in the car, lean the seat back, and take a little nap in the car. Start eating healthy. I felt myself like, yo, I'm not even tired today at lunch. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool today. Like, well, whatever. Like, I guess I'll
Energy through
scroll
the
through
roof, right?
social media.
Right.
Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Frank, you remember when me and my brother, we did the whole insanity, the Sean T 60-day joint. I was probably like
Right.
23 when I did that. Man, I remember hooping like that whole summer. I was hooping, man. Like, bro, I'm good, man. Three back-to-back joints. I'm good. Like, good,
Right.
man. So, like, I've seen the benefits, but I think it's real easy to slip down. So I think what you guys are saying about discipline and sticking to it and things like that, like that's major.
Being
Because like
consistent.
right.
Consistency, man. That's
Um, and I remember Sean. Sean has a comment right here that says cinnamon is a gym. But Sean was on a episode
Straight up.
last summer we did about self esteem, and I remember one of
mhm.
Sean's quotes was, "Find something that works for you. Find your thing that's going to work for you."
Your
Because we
niche.
make time for the turn up, we make
Right.
time for the alcohol, we make time for the woman. We'll make time for that. We never don't say we too busy to go see Shorty. You're not too busy to go see Shorty. You're not too busy, you know what I mean, to get the beer, to take the shots, to smoke the cigar, but you're
Right.
too busy to make a solid. Like you got to find it and make time for it, and let that become like that's in y'all. I've talked to both of y'all enough to know that it's in your daily routine to put some
Yeah.
kind of workout in there. Like
hmm
when y'all don't do it, y'all feel off.
Right.
Like so, you
Straight
just
up.
got to get to the point where like
And
every
you don't
day.
gotta live in the gym. Like people really be thinking like, yo, Ish, man, you be in the gym all the time. I'm like, bro, I don't be in no gym all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna get my 45 minutes to an hour in. Like, even
Mhm.
at Scepter, like dudes that say the same thing, like, man, ain't no time out here. I'm like, bro, I work out here now. I've been out here 3 years.
Mm,
Y'all sit, you listen, all you got, listen, you got some time to go to the gym. You just
mm,
because these fast food restaurants and these little crazy food eatery spots around it doesn't mean you have to eat that trash, man. You don't
mm,
have to eat it, man. You got certain stores downtown that you can go get a bag of lettuce from. Go get a bag of lettuce,
mm,
man, and some sides and throw it in there and eat that. And they look at you like you're
Yep.
crazy. Like,
mm,
I'm like, all right, man. But then after a while, like months later, they walking up to me like, yo, cuz, I gotta get with you, man. Man, I went to the doctors and it's like, I hear you, bro. Like, all right, well, meet me in the gym. I'm going to the gym at 10 o'clock when I get off the train. Oh, how long you been there? Dog, don't worry about me. Me
mhm,
and you will do a workout together for like 30, 45 minutes and we be done.
mhm,
And they like, all right, man, you
mhm.
might see them one time or they ducking you. It's like, nah, you ain't got to duck me because I'm going. I'm going to go. But if you want to come, man, come work out with me, bro. This ain't like a training session. We're going to work out together. But people excuse, man, like you say, things, if you really want to change, you'll change, man.
Mm,
And it's just sad that it got to for a lot of people that change comes when it's necessary, like when
yeah.
it's almost life or death now, you know. And it's like, come on, man, like why wait around? We got so many examples in our face, man, of why we need to be right, why we need to have better just healthy practices, man.
Mm,
So many examples, man, from drug addiction to obesity to depression, like all of these different things, man. If you just took care of yourself, man, it is stronger your armor for a whole bunch of the foolery that's gonna come our way. It's inevitable. It's
mm.
inevitable, man. We're gonna be faced with all types of foolishness as we live. You know, we're gonna be faced with so many type of things, man. So if your temple is strong, man, mentally, physically, spiritually, you'll be able to fight all that stuff off at the end of the
That's
day.
crazy.
So,
Frank, I think your mic came unconnected because I got a little mute sign underneath your name over here.
Good
Um,
now?
oh yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Ah, boom, boom.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like this is real game, man. So we about to get out of here, but what can today, like tonight, is 8:06 p.m. At 8:15 p.m., what can you do right now? Like, what's like the first steps to making that change? Like, what are some things that you could start today, tonight? I just want to give the people some action steps who are still listening.
I would say just one thing: is just be truthful to yourself, man.
Mm,
Like we can sit. We've been telling you all the different things you could do, but man, you got to have that. that moment of self-reflection. That's all I can say. Self-reflection, man. Sit, meditate, take a moment and ask yourself, how do you want to grow? I don't even want to say grow old. How do you want to age, man? I mean, and after that, then start take some of the stuff we was talking about. Get some Tupperware bowls. Start meal prepping. Change what's in your cupboard and your cabinet and your refrigerator. Start making out some shopping lists, man. Like, go reach out to a nutritionist. You ain't gotta get a nutrition, but you can reach out to a nutritionist one time. Most of us who have medical benefits, that is something that you are do through your benefits. If you just go on there, look through your benefits and find out, I guarantee you probably have like a couple sessions with a nutritionist that you can go speak to someone about, eating habits and how you can eat better. And I'm pretty sure they'll give you a printout of, what do you eat? Do you eat beef? Do you eat pork? This is some of the best ways to prepare the food and go with it. I mean, that's what I think.
Straight up. First thing is, I ran into that issue, yo. So you got to be ready, like what Ish said. First thing is, you got to be ready. You got to be willing to make that change, right? And that's digging deep. But even more than that, a lot of people, they have to realize that it's not going to come overnight, right? So you said the first thing tonight, say to yourself, yo, all right, we doing this. Like this is go time. This is Mando. We going to hit this thing hard. Write it down. Write it down. Write the change you want to see. You want to be healthier. You want to lower your blood pressure, whatever it is, actually write it down. I want to lower my blood pressure. I want to be able to run a 5K by the end of the month. I want to be able to walk down around my block by the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? And then 3, this is big, right? Especially for Black men. Find an accountability partner. Find somebody that ain't going to deal with your bullshit. They ain't going to put up with your bullshit. Someone that's going to call you out. And if you don't have nobody, hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up, Facebook Messenger. Hit me up like, yo, man, I need help, bro. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to do. I've made meal plans for people. I've made workout plans for people. I know, Ish, you do workout plans all the time. But what's the problem? People got to want to do it.
You got the follow through, man. It's the
follow through.
Everything. Straight up.
And that's something that is hard for us to be there, right? To help you through. But listen, I've taken people shopping. I've taken people to the grocery store, like my Marines, my junior guys, like the guys that just left the home, just left high school. They don't know how to shop. They don't know how to wash their own clothes. I'm taking these guys shopping. I'm like, this is what you need. And he's like, yeah, but the cookies down here. I'm like, nah, bro, we're going this way. You know what I'm saying? And just not because they can't go down that aisle, but just to show them the things that is necessary to have when you're trying to survive in our business, right? Which is the war fighting business, right? Unfortunately, right? So it's just certain things that you have to be willing to do and to maintain with. But write it down. Say, get real with yourself. Like, do you want to do this? You have to want to do it. Write it down. Get an accountability partner. For real, I would recommend somebody like going shopping with you. You know what I'm saying? Start itemizing those things in your cupboard. You know what I'm saying? Get you some cinnamon. Get you some cinnamon, man. Get you some ginger. Get you some. There's so many different things. Yo, if y'all have any questions, hit me up.
Likewise.
Really. Ish has a business. It's catered directly towards that. To helping the Black community. Helping everybody really to be better, right? Inside and out.
That, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
That's what it's all about.
Appreciate you. And that's all I was about to say, man. Even with the fitness piece, man, like at work, I don't want to say at work. When I'm normally at the 9 to 5, I'll just say that. Most of the times I'm not like charging. So I'll tell somebody like, yo, come to the gym with me. Just come to the gym with me because this is my way of giving back. Like this is my charity. So it's like, yo, just come, man. It's not gonna cost you nothing. And then you get people that don't even want to follow through with that. And it's just like, man. Like it's like sometimes I don't want to say deflating, man, but you be wanting more for your people at the end of the day, man. And you hate to see it, man. Like even through the COVID thing at the 9 to 5, like I seen like 8 people passed away in that gym. And it was 99% us. 99%, man. 99% was one Caucasian brother in there that passed away. Outside of that, man, it was all us, man. And I'm talking about nobody was over 63. Nobody. And I ain't know him. I know a couple of them personally, but as the word went out, it was like, oh yeah, they said he used to deal with they said, he had this issue, and it's just like, it's all like health shit,
Mm,
man. End of the day, culture, the lifestyle, choices.
mm,
You
A
know, you
society
choose.
of complacency, yo.
Yeah.
mm.
I mean,
And the
We
we
one
gotta
make
thing
the
break
I'll
choice
that.
say,
to eat unhealthy. We make the choice to eat unhealthy. We make the choice to drink till we drunk,
mm,
hang hungover, and all that type of stuff. Smoke till we high.
mm.
They choices. So you can make the same choice in the changing, for the better and making healthier choices. So
And the crazy thing is, I will say to both of you guys' points, when I went to visit Frank this past October, and I was drinking and stuff, but like I wake up early because my kids get up early. So even when they're not there, I'll pop up at least at like 6 something because I'm used to them getting up. So I popped
right.
up and Frank was going for his morning run. It's always hot in San Diego in California. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna run with you.
Mhm.
This dude's a Marine. Like I'm some dude that like to drink and sleep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
like, I can't keep up. But I will say he never once laughed at me. He
Right.
stayed course with me. We kind of jocked it out. We hit an uphill stretch. He was like, "I'm gonna go, man. If you guys stop, go ahead and stop. We hit to the same destination, man." So people who are
Mm-hmm.
in it, like these two guys, if you're listening, they're not going to make fun of you. You ain't got to worry about them being
Nah.
like, "Damn, bro, like you can't do this. You can't do a push up. You can't do that,
Right.
man." Like they understand the journey that you have to do, so you have no
Mm-hmm.
reason to feel ashamed. Because
At
I'm
all.
sure people who aren't showing up, they're probably like, "Dang, man, Ishmael on there doing the upside down sit
But
up Jones. I can't do that, so I ain't gonna
we
go
not,
with him."
yeah, and we not gonna do that. That's not what we gonna do. We not gonna do upside. I didn't start off doing up down, upside down sit ups. So why would I expect that out of you? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but brothers, man, brothers have some crazy egos, man.
Pride. Yeah,
I
ego and
take a
pride.
brother in the gym, man, and I put him on the bench, and I'm like, yo, grab the 15 or 20 pound dumbbells. They
Mm,
like, what? I'm like, just grab the 15s. They's like, what you normally work out with? I'm like, I be working out with the 25. No, you don't. But they ego, they want to grab the 30s.
hmm
I'm like, the
Yeah.
workout we about to do, you can't. I ain't
Right.
gonna say the word can't. You do them, go ahead, bro. And then they get
Mm,
them, and they like, yo, this. And I'm like, just listen to me, trust me. Like your
hmm
ego is affecting you because you figure I'm telling you grab a 15-pound dumbbell that I'm saying you a weakling.
hmm
Nah, I'm just saying the workout we about to do
hmm
you can't do this workout with 20. Not you can't, but it's very difficult to start off with like 25, 30 pounds. And that's not what
hmm
this workout is about. So the male ego is a vicious joint for a whole lot of reasons that
Yeah.
we already know.
So get with them, man. That's
Yeah.
you can find Frank on Instagram at Frankie underscore cut underscore bloom. Get with him, message him. That's my brother. Hit him up, man. Like it's real good brother. And he's 3 hours earlier than us over there. So even if you hit him up at midnight, it's only 9 o'clock where he at. So it ain't it ain't too crazy.
Right.
And you can see it's still sunny out there where he at if y'all watching from the
Mm-hmm.
East Coast. And
Right.
Ish. You can hit him up at Abin Malik, hit him up at Pure. That's two underscores right there at
Yes,
Pure
sir.
Impact. Man, he's always posting workout videos. He's posting people that he's training. That's my favorite thing about following Ish. Like he doesn't only
Mm-hmm.
post his own things. He'll post somebody that he's training, and you can see where he starts them off. He does both genders, so he'll have some women, he'll have some men in there with him. So you can see like he's moving at whatever your pace is, man. Get with my brother, man. They
Yes,
got you,
indeed.
man. And I'm absolutely gonna take some of this stuff to
Mm-hmm.
heart, man. I'm gonna schedule myself a doctor's appointment. Actually, I will say this: my sister-in-law, shout out to Tasha. I believe that she is on the table right now in the process of pushing my niece out any
Oh yeah.
hour now. My niece should be out there. So shout out to
Blessings,
Tosh.
blessings,
I love
blessings.
you,
More
man.
life.
Praying for you for a healthy delivery and healthy
Absolutely.
everything, man. But my sister, I'm going to go through her. She works in the hospital, and she's going to find me a doctor at the hospital that she works with. I prefer a black man, a black
Mm-hmm.
male doctor personally. But even if I can't find a black male doctor, I do prefer a male doctor personally. I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like a woman don't got what I got. So when I'm talking to her about like, I mean, issues with like, the male anatomy, I feel like I
Right.
would rather talk to someone who has the male anatomy. There's some brothers who might call me gay for that, but to that ego and pride conversation, like I'm just trying to be healthy out here.
It's all
Um,
about what you're comfortable with, man.
and
Whatever doctor, whatever agenda, just find one. Just find
If
one,
whoever
so
man.
whoever you got to talk to, it don't matter as long as
It
you
don't
go
matter. Yeah,
and you get past all
exactly,
that
man.
insecurity later.
Yeah,
right, and it,
exactly.
it is it
Definitely.
is October 13th, 2021 today. I am challenging every person listening to this chat right now to see the doctor before the calendar year ends. If you haven't already, go see somebody before the end of the calendar year. Get yourself checked out. Get yourself checked up, and at least try to eliminate one thing, one thing that's unhealthy. We talked about a lot of it today. Start somewhere. You know, slow progress is progress. I'll start to eliminate one thing, or substitute one thing per month, per week, whatever pace works for you. That's what I'm gonna be mindful to do.
Yo,
Thank y'all, man.
before we go, let me show you something. Let me show you. I'll be a man of my word, right? See that?
Hey,
What's
You know what I
that?
mean?
Oh, that's
Little
asparagus.
cod, little
was
asparagus.
that
Got the
kale?
this. Nah, it's
Oh, asparagus.
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 Yeah, you got
Oh
the sweet
man,
potato
Yes,
sweet
in
sir.
there.
potato.
You
I see
know,
it.
some black bean soup.
Black
Okay.
beans
Yeah,
cheap. That come in the can. Asparagus is cheap.
yeah, yeah,
Come on
yeah.
now.
So it's this place around here called
Let's get
no,
better.
I ain't promoting them. Yeah, but it's it's good eat. It's good eat. We ain't promoting nobody. They ain't paying no advertising.
Yeah.
My brother joints said, no, we not promoting that.
Hey man, I just moved close to University City, so you know I'm close to all the nice little eateries. I did order a
Eatery.
salad the other day from it's a Greek salad place down the street from me. I went to
Yeah,
order one of them joints, so like,
there you
you
go.
know,
There you go. Yeah,
it's
man,
just a
this was a
matter.
blessing though, man. I really, yo, and I needed this, man. I needed
Mm,
this, man. Been laying around for 7 days, man. So
right.
this definitely lifted my spirits, man. I feel a lot better physically, definitely emotionally now. So, man, yo, this was right on time, bro. Right on time.
Oh, man, this is great, man.
Right on time.
I love these joints, man. Like, I
Hmm.
love having experts on, right? There's sometimes I have people on,
Experts.
and I still gotta like I'm in it. This is one of the times where I'm like, oh no, they got it, man. Like this ain't my
Hmm.
turf. Like I don't listen to these brothers, and I'm taking notes with y'all. So
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to have
Right.
y'all on, man.
No
We'll be back.
expert, bro. Just life. Just
Exactly.
learning.
That's all, man.
We'll be back
Trial and error.
in 2 weeks. I
Minimizing the
think I'm going
error.
to try to get some medical professionals to come on. I got the fitness professionals.
Hmm.
Know a couple of doctor and nurses. I'm gonna try to get them to come on and kind of tackle this gluttony thing from the medical standpoint.
Gotcha.
And some of the things that they've seen inside the hospital. So I'm gonna reach out to a couple of them. Look for that advertisement in the next week or so.
Gotcha.
And then Halloween coming up too, man. So like people get a little crazy around Halloween. That's why I want the
Right.
doctors showing out before y'all go trick or treating and start sneaking the kids candy.
Sliding that bag, some
Sneaking the kids candy.
M&M
Oh yeah.
peanuts, and some Snicker joints, man.
A Snickers will get me every time, man. I'll be
Right.
at work and they got the little jars. So every time I see a little Snicker in there, I'll be like, I'll take that one.
Yo, boycott Halloween. Yo, straight
Period.
up. Don't even go out get no candy. That's how they get us. That's why we the fattest freaking
Period,
country in
man.
the world, yo.
Man, we used to be
Boycott that. Don't
super.
even when them little kids come to you, just
Yeah,
kick them in their damn
exactly.
them out of there, man.
Turn the
Like,
And
light
to
yo,
off.
that point, yo, Frank, on some real stuff though, this happened to me because when I told you I hovered at 160, and I'll say this before I get out of here. I hovered at 160. When I went to that checkup, that first one out of college, I was like, yeah, I'm underweight, right? And the doctor said to me, he said, obesity is such a problem in America that when you're at the weight that you're supposed to be, people think that you're underweight or unhealthy.
Right.
Like, so being mindful of that, guys, that that's a thing that I heard from like a real doctor. Like obesity is such a problem in America that some people who are at their weight that they should be at, they feel skinny or they feel underweight, but that's how it's supposed to be. And then I watch something that's like filmed in Europe and I see them little slim bulls walking around. And I'd be like, yeah, that gotta be what they talking about, man. Because
Yeah.
nobody, I mean, especially Philly, man, love Philly to death, but Philly is an ugly city in some
Yeah.
places, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
um,
but those charts, man, they don't. What's the word? They don't. I don't want to say dictate, but those charts, them charts don't mean you healthy or unhealthy.
mhm,
Because they tell me I'm supposed to be like 177 pounds. Cuz stop, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, cut it out. So
have to
that
damn near
stuff,
starve yourself to get there.
exactly. Like, nah, that I'm gonna tell you, like, so I know we gotta go, but I remember like last summer during the pandemic, I lost weight on not
mhm,
on purpose, but I was working out like a maniac. I had all this time, and it was like all calisthenics because the gyms was closed. And I remember I was like 195. That's the
mhm,
smallest I've been since like I don't know. I was in my early 20s, mid 20s,
mhm,
and I had to get comfortable. Like we said, I had to get comfortable with being that small because
mhm.
the problem was my shirts wasn't fit no more. And I'm like, I put my shirts on and I look crazy, but when I looked at myself, I'm like, yo, I'm ripped up.
Mhm,
But I'm like, dog, get new shirts. Like you
Mhm.
can't fit them shirts no more. So I had to get comfortable
Yeah.
with that, man. So I know I couldn't, not I couldn't, but I didn't want to go smaller than that. But I was like, for me now, that's like the attainable. That's the goal I want to get back. So now I'm like 205 right now. So I'm
Yup.
like, long as I can get between 198 and 203, I'm cool. So I
Mhm.
No
know
doubt.
like that for me, that's my range now. So yeah,
Cool. But yeah, man.
That's major, yo.
This is
yeah,
great, man. I
yes
feel
indeed,
great right now, man.
yes
Thank
indeed.
y'all for
Ish with the
joining, man.
major keys.
Yeah.
I
Yo, I
hope y'all was
appreciate you,
taking
bro.
notes.
One day, listen, man, we gonna talk about Dave, man.
Most definitely.
When I say that book was addictive, like he loved pain, man. Like you said, like, cause I'm like, why this brother putting himself through these things,
Yeah,
man.
Yes,
But
sir.
we gotta talk about it. It was a great, great book, man. Great read, man.
listen,
I
man.
couldn't put it down. I used to be walking around. Yo, that book was crazy, man. The book
Telling
was
you, man, he
crazy.
is not okay.
Nah, obviously not. I-
This
From
is
from
great,
from the
man.
household to what he endured, you know,
Yeah.
you,
But I think he found a way to battle, his issues, mentally.